The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of spoilers, so stay tuned, nerds, because we're talking Loki Episode 2. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us on the Salty Nerd Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Loki Episode 2 on Disney+, and I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds. Matt Vader, what's up, dude?
Hey, bro.
How you doing?
Tito's. I'm good.
You're coming down off the Tito's?
I don't know.
You look pretty good for a balloon.
Do we need to get a balloon? I feel like we need to get a balloon.
I was going to bring a balloon today, but I've totally...
Yeah, that's all right.
So one of our YouTube commenters said that Matt Vader was so useless for these Loki reviews that you could replace him with a balloon and we wouldn't miss anything.
I can't disagree.
We all float down here.
How dare I turn my brain off to watch a television show?
Good times. Good times.
I'm allowed to do that if I want.
We love those comments, guys. Comment below what you think.
Do we?
Oh, sure.
Hey, you know.
Gives us lots of fun things to talk about.
People going to hate. It's okay.
I said people called us worse, and Kadish was like, yeah, at least they didn't call us a basement dweller. It's good stuff, guys. We laugh. We laugh at everything.
I was like, are you okay?
Jude is also here.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm good.
You ready to talk about Loki?
Yeah.
Awesome. And Matthew Kadish, producer of the show.
So I was very impressed with this episode.
I am.
Jude and I watched it together and we were both freaking out the entire time because anytime a show has I need a hero as part of it.
Oh, that was so good.
Jamming.
I was sitting there. I was like, yeah.
I love Bonnie
It
Tyler.
made no sense in that scene. But I watched that episode twice, and each time I was like, fuck yeah.
I need a hero.
Did you guys recognize the actress that played that young
Jessica
Utopia.
Hyde.
Jessica
Yeah.
Hyde
Who?
from Utopia.
Yeah, that's what I was freaking out about. I was like, oh shit, it's Jessica
Hyde.
I said Jessica Rabbit at first. I was like, I know that's wrong.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, so there's
Did you watch Utopia?
Was that one I passed?
I think
on?
you passed on that one. That was Tom.
Yeah.
I don't think did we review it?
Yeah.
We did.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did it with Tom.
Okay.
Was that
so-
one I said, no, I'm out?
It was only audio.
Okay, so basically, there's an Amazon original series called Utopia, and the actress who gets kidnapped at the beginning of this episode was one of the main characters in that show.
And it's really good. There's also a British version that has more than one season.
Yeah. Did they cancel that show?
Yeah,
They did. Yeah, it's a shame because it was like
It was just getting good.
ripe for just being awesome.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you like my t-shirt, Alex?
I do. I love Loki in the classic I Love Lucy
That's
font.
good. That's really
Yeah.
good.
I got this
like
on
it.
Redbubble.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not one of ours,
Friend
unfortunately.
of mine is the artist.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
you can. There's no copyright on that, bro. You can make one.
SaltyNerdStore.com.
Just change the font up or something.
Yeah, that's all right.
Casey Trier on Redbubble.
Right on.
Yeah.
Look her up, guys.
But before we get going, we should probably take a break.
We probably should. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to get into some spoilers, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you'd like to support the podcast, go to saltynerdclub.com and join our Patreon team, and you can help support us and help us make awesome content for you to listen to and get access to exclusive stuff like behind-the-scenes photos and blooper reels and all kinds of fun things. And you can contact the hosts of the show on our Discord. You get exclusive access to a couple of Discord chat rooms that are only for patrons. All right.
We should also probably tell everyone about our t-shirt special.
Oh, yes. Oh, if you guys want to support Corky is now a t-shirt. You can get him at saltynerdstore.com. There he is right over there in the corner. I'm looking that way towards Corky.
I think we should send one to James.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Can we just buy one and send it to his publisher?
P.O.
or whatever?
box?
I'll just DM him, ask him for his address.
Like, yo, dick, we got a present for you.
We love you.
I'll drive there. Let's go on a road trip and just be like, hey, knock, knock. We just want to give you this shirt. Thanks, buddy.
I think James Mangold's in London right now, right?
I don't know.
Isn't he
That
like
doesn't
Dude,
matter.
I'll pay for the
I'm over it.
shipping. It's fine.
Yeah.
We love James Mangold.
We do.
I saw him podcast.
I'm a fan of his
We
movies.
got all that YouTube monetization money. Let's all go
Let's
to
go.
England.
Hoorah.
I went to the coffee shop this morning and JJ was in there. You know, JJ's our filling guy. One of our
Not
filling
J.J.
guys.
Abrams.
No. JJ,
Yeah.
JJ coffee shop guy.
Yeah. Grouchy
Anyway.
Johns.
And I go, hey, did you hear what happened to the show? And he's like, what are we talking about? I go, oh. And so I explained the thing and he was just like, what? Are you serious? It was just like, yeah, it was pretty funny.
Nice.
It was just.
We love JJ. Shout out to Grouchy Johns,
Yeah, it was just.
our caffeine dealer, local. All right, let's get into the show. Okay, so a lot happens in this
Yeah.
episode, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool. And we get a huge explanation as to how this show is setting up the time variance and the, explaining
It's
the
all a
details.
bunch of crap.
It's
multiverse.
the
Just a
explaining
bunch
the,
of stupid, poorly written crap. It's blowing up everything. These writers don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm sorry.
You're good?
Yeah.
That's one valid criticism.
Yeah. Whatever.
I don't know. I don't hate this show. I think it was a lot of fun. But we start off, we get to see a couple of agents from the Time Variant Authority, Minutemen, head out, and they go up against an unknown force that we kind of think is Loki, and they just get decimated.
Is this did it start off at the like medieval fair?
Yeah, so there's like a Ren fair in like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And
It's like in the 80s.
yeah,
85.
and,
I
ba-
love Ren fairs.
and basically the Minutemen are led by Jessica Hyde. And what happens is that she gets possessed by this variant of Loki,
Mhm.
and he uses her to basically take out her own team. And then she gets knocked out, and the variant Loki
Drags her.
Yeah, well, he takes the time detonator type thing, and her, and disappears into like a portal.
Yeah.
During the scene where she's like possessed by Loki, and we've got like is it Bunny Hunt?
Yeah,
Mhm.
We've got that song
Yeah.
playing in the
I
background.
need a hero.
But like
Bonnie Tyler.
Bonnie Tyler, that's what it is.
Come on, man.
What I think sets this apart, and what I think makes this, it's just like the little things that make me really enjoy the ride that this show is on, is the joy and the glee that's on her face while she's doing this, because this isn't that character, it's Loki inside this character, and you can see that coming through her, and it's just like the little tweaks that every character is doing in this show, and like the way that they do their dialogue and they interact with each other, it's just what is making me love this show, because I know that somebody took their time in writing like something fun.
Yeah.
And it's just a fucking joy.
It is a lot. It's a lot more fun than Falcon Winter Soldier was.
So I know a big criticism that I've seen of this episode is that it was very slow, and like there was complaints that like nothing happened in
Really slow?
it. That's what I've seen. Where
It is. It's
I
very,
didn't feel
it's-
like it was
I
slow.
disagree.
It's heavy on the exposition, but I wouldn't call it slow.
you,
No,
you-
not
you
at
know,
all.
to me, this episode was very much kind of like a police procedural where you see Loki and Mobius kind of
Mhm.
working together to figure stuff out. And that can come off as like slow to people who just want like slam bang action, I guess. But like to me, I was fascinated by.
I
Yeah.
like the
What
relationship
happened.
that those two
I am
had.
loving the buddy cop vibe.
Yeah, yeah, and the way that Loki is trying to like every time he comes up with an idea of like is this how this works, and Morbius is like, well, it's kind of oversimplifying things, but you're not wrong, but you're
Jesus,
not right.
man, we're being way too positive.
I thought it was funny. I like the relationship that they have.
We don't have
So,
any
like-
salt.
We'll
Do
give
you
us
need to
some
go
salt.
slam your
I
head
don't
into
really-
a
I don't-
wall, Vader?
I don't really have any. I'm enjoying this thing.
Are you
Yeah.
upset because you like something?
It's kind of pissing me off. It's like I
buddy,
need
here
something
you
to
go.
like talk shit about.
Yeah.
Have some
You
more.
need it?
Have some more alcohol.
Bonnie Tyler, I need a hero.
That's all.
It's on my brain right now. It's like I
Me
want to
too.
listen. When maybe you guys are too young. I don't know. I know you are. You probably watch Footloose. Whenever I hear that song,
Same.
I want to go get on my John Deere
Same.
tractor and go play chicken with somebody.
Mhm.
Okay.
See, I remember it
It's
from Who's
just-
Harry Crumb.
Yeah, it's just that thing is Footloose. That's so it was weird to hear that song. in
Kevin
this show.
Bacon.
Are you serious right now? Look
Come
at the dumb look on
on.
his face. What are you guys talking about? We're watching Footloose,
I've
dude.
never seen Footloose.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm
but,
so sorry.
We're gonna do Footloose, Flashdance,
Yeah.
and fucking something else that has music.
All
in
right,
it.
Yeah.
so
So-
getting back to Loki.
I have no salt for this show yet.
Yeah.
It's like no, not yet. It hasn't. It's like people are all like, oh, it's destroying the timeline. It's doing all this. It's doing all that. Is it? I don't know, man. It's just
I don't know.
I feel like they got to break it before they can fix it.
So
You know what I mean?
So I have a surprise for you guys.
Oh.
So,
What are we doing?
okay, so there's
Is Tom Hiddleston on the show?
so there's a theory going around on the internet that kind of brings in the Time Variance Authority in terms of like how they relate to the greater universe and how they've already been set up in previous movies.
Oh.
So like I want to show you this video that I found on TikTok, which is
Oh, God.
which
I
kind
love
of
that you're a
explains
TikToker.
it.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. So like you guys are gonna listen to this.
Oh, I've seen these dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, these guys kind of like lay out what the prevailing theory of Loki is right
Okay,
now.
so it's a 1 minute video. So go ahead and play it. Let's we got
Who we shouting out to this?
We're gonna
That's
need
good.
to
You guys
tag them in this.
Avengers Theory.
I wonder if we'll get copyright claimed.
All right.
All right, go for it. Go ahead and play.
And in 3, 2.
Have you heard of the Loki theory?
No.
So we all know Loki's 2 episodes in so far, and he's stuck in the TVA. And the TVA stands for Time Variance Authority.
Right.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Loki in the TVA is actually stuck in the quantum realm.
Wait, how?
Remember in Ant-Man and the Wasp when they're in the quantum realm? You see like a city in the distance?
Oh, I remember that.
That's the TVA.
What?
Remember the Wasp mom was stuck in the quantum realm? And she said that time moves differently in the quantum realm.
Uh-huh.
And then Ant-Man got stuck in the quantum realm, and he thought he was there for 5 minutes, but he was there for 5 years. And he said that time moves differently in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So then Loki asked Mobius, how long have you been here for? And Mobius tells him, I don't know. Time moves differently in the TVA.
Wait.
So Mobius
Interesting.
and Loki time travel using the TVA through the quantum realm. And guess who else used the quantum realm to time travel? The Avengers.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And get this, the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie is called Quantumania, and it takes place in the quantum realm. And the main villain is Kang the Conqueror, and Kang the Conqueror is one of the timekeepers in the show Loki,
What the heck?
No.
confirming
Nice.
that they may actually be in the quantum realm.
Wait, this is crazy how much sense it's making.
Right?
Stop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
So,
like it.
so Kevin Feige thought this through. Huh.
Oh, I've never had any doubt
I mean,
that they
look.
thought this through.
Like,
well, one of the interesting things about that is because the Avengers used the quantum realm to time travel,
yeah.
it might be that that's why the Time Lords allowed it, because like they're using the same kind of like time strand that that the Time Lords use to manipulate the sacred timeline.
Okay.
And because they followed the rules, they were allowed to do the time travel.
I always thought that they were allowed to do that because they had planned from the beginning to put everything back the way it was. Like they were going to take the Infinity Stones back to where they were before, and everything would be fixed.
that's probably it too.
So they were like, even if they do go through with this mission, as long as they complete it and they go back and put the Infinity Stones back where they belong, then it's going to be like nothing ever happened.
But the time, I feel like that really kind of encapsulated the time travel aspect to the show, because at the beginning, like right after the variant kidnaps, that Minuteman person,
Yeah.
We see Loki in the Time Variance Authority being briefed on the rules by Miss Minutes, who's voiced by Tara Strong, who does Harley Quinn's voice.
Oh, nice.
So like we get more kind of like interesting insights into how time travel is supposed to work in Loki, where they say like, why don't we just go back in time before this thing happened and we can stop it from happening? And Owen Wilson explains it's like, well, we have to do this in real time, because if we go back before the variant occurs, we could create another variant and not fix this one. And so like we have to basically go along with this and then rewind it with those detonator charges. And so like they're being very kind of meticulous about how they're building the time travel mythology with this show so far. And I like it.
Do you know how those little mind charge things work?
I've heard theories. It's kind of like an antimatter chamber,
because I'm not really sure what their
where
purpose is.
if you look at it closely, it kind of mixes two different pieces of matter together, and then it explodes, and it kind of like erases.
But those are the things that actually reset.
Yeah, it prunes
timeline.
basically that timeline off of the main
All right.
strain. But I mean, it's just science fiction mumbo
Yeah, I
jumbo.
mean,
but
it's just, I don't care a whole lot. I just kind of want to know what the theory is.
It looks
behind
kind of quantum realmy inside it too, like the way.
Yeah, I
that
can
it-
see
I got to pump some more air into my balloon head. So
Well, the
What?
interesting thing about this episode really was like we got to see Loki kind of do like the time police thing.
Mhm.
Like I love the beginning where he was basically like playing the TVA, where he's like, if you step outside this tent, you're gonna die, and he was basically like lying to manipulate them to get what he
Yeah.
wanted. And Owen Wilson's like, you almost got me.
Yeah, he's got a leg up on Loki, which
The
is
chemistry is so
it's
good.
really Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson.
Yeah, it's a
it
good
works.
mix.
It really
I do, I
works.
like it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the show, I think a lot of people are like, yeah, those two are good.
Like
Together.
I love the scene where Loki's trying to explain to him like all the stuff you can do before an apocalypse, and Owen Wilson's salad is
Oh yeah,
basically
he's like,
the
no,
thing in it.
that's my
He's
salad,
like,
man.
don't ruin. I want
But
that.
the salt is Hulk. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and he's like, no, don't
And
sprinkle
they
chaos on my
traumatize
salad.
Casey again.
Yeah, and he steals the guy's juice, and he's like,
Uh-huh.
"This is the apocalypse." No, it's not.
No, stop.
Yeah, I
That's
love that
funny.
we got Casey back for this episode.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny.
And
man.
interestingly enough, this lady who is
The judge.
the judge, I believe her name is Ravonna Renslayer
Mhm.
in the show. So she is Kang the Conqueror's love interest in the comic books, which means that we may very well get to see a Kang the Conqueror aspect. Like what was interesting is that in the comics, like Kang kind of creates this this council to help him conquer the multiverses. And it could be that the Loki variant is working with Kang on this council. And this could be leading up into, because we know that Kang is the villain in Quantum Mania,
Mhm.
which is the next Ant-Man movie. So it could be,
I did not know this, but okay.
yeah. So it could be hinting at that or something like
I've
that.
kind of hopped off the Marvel train after Endgame. I was like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
all right. I mean, we watched the shows for the podcast, so we can talk about it and stuff. But I'm like, I was take it or leave it. This show is starting to get me a little excited for like
Really?
multiverse of madness and stuff. I'm like, if they stick the landing on this, I might be back in. I don't know. It's going to be weird. But I do, Kadish already kind of commented on like the police aspect of this, where Loki goes through the library and he's looking up all these, he's trying to figure out what the other version of him is doing to hide.
and it kills him that the other version might be the superior version.
Yeah, he's all pissed off, which I have a theory.
Yes.
We'll get to it at the end, but
This is the inferior Loki we're
yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
But he finds out through his book work at the time variant library, I guess, that this version of Loki is hiding within apocalypses. Because if you go through the timeline and you go to an area that is about to be destroyed by a natural apocalypse, no matter what you do, you can't set off the alarm bells for the TVA because it's going to be destroyed anyway.
Right.
So there's
It's
nothing.
a great place for a person who loves chaos.
Yeah, exactly. And there was the one scene where they go to Pompeii.
Love
And
that scene.
Loki is goofing around. You're all going to die. Be free, my horned friends. And he's like, lets the
Nothing you
ghost
can
loose.
do about it.
Yeah. And then Owen Wilson's sitting over there he's all nervous. He's like looking at the volcano, like what's gonna happen. It was funny, man. I don't have a lot of salt for this show. I understand their explanation for time travel. It might not be perfect, but I'm not a person who dives deep into criticism of time travel because
No,
I don't
you
think
can't.
I don't think a lot of shows can hold up.
I think that my favorite scene in this episode was when Owen Wilson and Loki are sitting there talking about jet skis.
Oh yeah.
And Owen Wilson says like, you know, like it doesn't happen often, but for a brief moment in the early 90s, the form met function and the perfect, synergy.
I just really want him to
Dude,
get to ride a jet
That is
ski
like
at some
the best
point.
impersonation I've ever seen him do.
That was pretty close. Wasn't
For the
bad.
man who destroys words,
Yeah.
Aw.
that was pretty good.
Owen Wilson destroys words pretty well.
He did it pretty good.
Like-
No, there's
like form met function for a brief shining moment.
look at that, he's doing
He's
it.
doing it again. Yeah, it's
You've
good.
been practicing it in the mirror, haven't you,
Have you guys seen Tom Hiddleston's impression of Owen Wilson?
Yes.
I have.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
have
funny.
not.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty
It's
funny.
also on TikTok.
Jesus.
I'm kinda
What else am I
upset.
going to say about that? Oh, okay. Let's talk about the ending with the warehouse, or not the warehouse, but the mall, where they kind of nail
hurricane
down.
survivors.
Yeah, the hurricane, where they
Yeah,
nail down where
yeah.
the Loki
So-
variant's at.
So before we get there, so this entire episode, it's basically Loki and Mobius figuring out how the variant Loki is hiding from them, and they finally figure out where this variant is going to be hiding, which is in the middle of a hurricane in was it Alabama,
Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia.
Okay, so middle of a hurricane in Georgia in like the 2050s, and basically everyone in this town is going to get
It was like
killed.
10. I think
The
the
whole town's going to get
the
wiped out.
kill count was like 10,000.
Yeah,
The whole
crazy.
town gets wiped off the planet.
Yeah.
It's an apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like Loki, he convinces Owen Wilson to, go there to capture the variant of himself.
Okay, so we get there, we get to see a fun little scene where they keep using the magic where the variant Loki is like transferring their essence into people like we saw in the beginning of the episode. Loki's fighting these different versions of this person that are like taking over the bodies and stuff. I thought it was fine, a little goofy. I was kind of upset, like I don't like how unpowerful he is when he's going up these normal humans.
I liked how he was like, I would never treat myself this way.
That's okay. That's a huge point that I wanted to bring up because I don't think this is Lady Loki, quote unquote, from the comics. I think this is a completely different person. I think he's masquerading as Loki.
Well, you know what's weird, and I think one of our patrons might have pointed this out, is that early on in the episode they kind of show like different variations of Loki, or like other variant Lokis that they've like captured and gotten rid of. And
they all look the same.
Well, they kind of, no, they don't.
They do.
No, like they were dramatically different.
All of them were different.
And they showed this in the Miss Minutes cartoon in the first one, where when a variant goes off the time path, he can alter how he looks depending on like what variation he becomes.
Okay, let me clarify what I mean by they all look the same. Is they all look like dark-haired versions, like they all have that Loki style.
Well, the whole point is that a variant somehow can like physically change from like what their original appearance is. And like the big twist in this episode was that when the variant Loki that they've been hunting is revealed, it's revealed that it's Lady Loki. And so like, you know, this variant is the female version of Loki. Now, do you guys know the background behind Lady Loki in the comics?
No.
All right. So just real quick. So J. Michael Straczynski, one of my favorite writers, and like he did Babylon 5 and, you know, he wrote Ninja Assassin, which we reviewed not too long ago.
Right on.
So he basically had a run on Thor where Ragnarok happened, and Thor comes in and he finds out that all the Asgardians who died during Ragnarok, their souls were transferred to humans somewhere. And so he has to track down these humans and unlock the souls of the Asgardians that are inside of them. And they basically take over the bodies of these humans and become, you know, the Asgardians reborn. And so he tracks down a body for Lady Sif. And before he can basically get Lady Sif to inhabit the body, or her spirit anyway, Loki kind of slips in there and takes over the female body that was meant for Lady Sif. And so for that time, he's referred to as Lady Loki. Now it's still Loki. He's just in a woman's body. And he becomes part of like this Dark Avenger storyline that was really, really interesting, actually.
I got to go back and
This is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of back history.
So a lot of people that I saw criticizing this episode for having Loki be gender swap basically as the variant, it's like, well, they didn't technically gender swap him because like if this is Lady Loki from the comics, it's Loki just in a woman's body.
Have you heard the other theory about who this is?
No.
Okay, so there's another theory in the credits. The version of Loki at the end of this episode is credited as a character named not Shiva. It's like something with an S. I can't remember. Crap. But she's basically the Enchantress. Is the character in the comic books, and she's a blonde-haired woman with the green outfit that looks kind of like Loki, but it's not Loki. So I think because of that one comment that he made, like I would never treat myself this way, I think that was a wink and a nod to that this isn't actually Loki. This is somebody who's pretending to be Loki.
I feel like we're getting a lot out of this show already, and you're setting yourself up for a heartache.
Oh, I don't. No. I have not married to that idea.
Well, this reminds me of when we were like super deep into WandaVision.
Yeah,
and we had like all types of.
I think we need to check our expectations.
I think this is what good nerd shows should do. It should make us nerds talk about nerd stuff.
It should make us want to dive into other comic books.
If a show like this, we should have half a dozen theories out there.
Yeah. So like
that means they're doing their job. I like it. I like that part.
After Kadish's explanation, like I want to go and find that comic book and read the whole thing so that I have a leg up on the show.
If people like us are talking about this show, then they're doing a good job.
Yeah. Now, I do have to say, I have to preface this with, if we do that, if I go and I read all these comic books and then I come back and the show just lets me down because they drop the ball, we're going to let you know, because that happened to us already twice now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm holding out hope.
I don't like to see you get hurt.
I don't know. I'm not married to any ideas, and I'm not married to this show being great. I just think I'm having fun so far, and
If
I
you
don't.
want
I
to
don't
get married to this theory, I need you to drop a prenup.
The one thing that I didn't like in this episode is that when they get to the like the warehouse in the hurricane,
Mhm.
and basically we've got kind of like this this character who's one of Loki's foils. I believe her name is Hunter D90.
Oh yeah.
Hunter B15.
Yep.
Right? So Hunter B15 is like, you know, the big black lady who's been like, you know, beating up Loki this entire time. And
He put her in that
The time loop.
Yeah.
the time loop. Yeah.
yeah. And so like she kind of pulls rank on Mobius and separates Loki from him. And to me, I felt like that was kind of a plot convenience type thing where like, I don't feel like, I mean, Mobius outranks her. So he should have been able to like, you know, just say like Loki stays with me.
Mhm.
So that was one part of the episode that kind of, you know, triggered me, I guess you could say. But overall, like I love like the showdown that Loki had with like his alternate self, and the big reveal of the alternate Loki's master plan, where she had been stealing all these like time detonators, and all at once she sets them off on different time periods and starts creating like multiple branching timelines off the sacred timeline. So like it's obvious they're gonna redline, like there's no time to stop this stuff. And basically like, you know, stuff's gonna hit the fan like really quick.
Multiverse
in
of
the next
madness.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
Yeah,
Next
like-
episode should be interesting.
Like I love moments when like evil genius plans come to fruition,
Yeah. It's fun.
and the heroes are just like screwed. And
I'm
so, like,
curious as to how exactly that happened. So she opened a portal underneath each one of these bombs, and that portal led to a different
time period. Yeah.
and they all set off at the same time. And it just separates everything. It unravels the time braid that they have. These timekeepers have. Is that what happened?
However long that the detonation reversed time, it created a variant of the timeline, and so basically, you know, she basically just set off a nuclear bomb that, you know, the timekeepers, they're sitting there and they're trying to like kind of sew everything together up until they get to like the end of time. And she basically just undid everything that they've been working on up to that point. And it's a really fascinating thing, because you're just like, oh, where are they going to go now? Like, where are they going with this? And, you know, like we all know that this is leading to Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse of madness, and WandaVision's whole, like, you know, kind of like Nexus, you know, being type thing. And I'm just wondering, like, what type of possibilities this opens up for the Marvel universe going forward.
I feel like I'm missing something, because I've seen people like really bag on this show.
I know.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't really get it. I don't get, like, it's fine. I don't.
Maybe you got to remember, it's like you and me, and you know, I know Jude. I'm not sure about Matt, but we're the everyman when it comes to watching these shows. We are not deeply invested into the comic book world. I don't know the canon behind this. Which is
well, even in the MCU, like, because I've seen people talk about how this ruins previous MCU movies, and I'm like, I don't think it does
at all.
Because they were talking about like Black Widow's sacrifice for the Soul Stone, and I'm like, yeah, but that still happened.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that. And
on that timeline.
On that timeline.
Well,
so what difference does it make?
The whole kind of like explanation of the time travel in this show is that there's one main timeline. And when variants happen, they have to go back and kind of prune them off. And what this episode is introducing is multiverse timelines. And so like there are now going to be multiple timelines. And so the question becomes, it's like, okay, what is the impact to that in the greater MCU? Like, because the whole thing about the quantum realm theory that we just watched is that because time, you know, all time kind of exists in that quantum like field, like, you know, mishmash of entangled stuff. It's possible that like the stuff that we're seeing now had already happened by the time Endgame happened, and it's just like out of order because of how we're following our one timeline.
Okay.
Like it can
Because we
it can
see
get,
time as linear.
yeah, it can get super complicated, but I don't feel like this show is doing anything to lessen my enjoyment of the movies and stuff that came before it.
So it's
whereas something like The Last Jedi created retroactive plot holes in all the movies I enjoy before that movie came out.
I'd like to dive a little bit deeper. I know Odin, he's a fan of the podcast, a friend of our podcast. I think he's more critical of this show. I'd like to talk to him and try to pick his brain as to why he's more critical.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out, because I don't know, man. I'm having
I
fun.
want to get beyond people's. I mean, I know people don't like Disney and all that kind of stuff, but I want to know what the actual
Reasoning.
reasoning is behind not liking this show.
Well, it's possible, Vader.
Beyond the Disney suck stuff.
Yeah.
I want to what's the deal with this show in particular that people don't like?
Yeah.
It's possible that those people were making those complaints in the future.
It's true. It's very true.
And they've seen episodes
And
that we haven't seen yet.
Because
Yeah.
we are in a linear timeline, we just don't know what they're complaining about yet.
Well, I actually feel like this show has much better writing to it than either of the previous
totally
two
agree.
shows that we
Yeah.
watched.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like WandaVision, you know, whoever was behind writing on that, I know it was one of the writer directors of Captain Marvel. I feel like
They set up a lot of stuff that just didn't follow through on.
well, like they set up a lot of cool stuff, but like it became clear by the end of that series that like they those setups were unintentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Like-
that was
like
that
they're
was us nerds reading too much into it. And that's what I'm
giving them too much credit.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
afraid is happening with this.
Which is what I don't want you to do,
Yeah.
because we got burned on that, because what they did was set up a fodder for us to like theorize, and then it turns out that was for
we're,
not.
we're
Yeah.
never happy
Like if the TVA
because the ideas that we come up with in our nerd
are
heads
better than what
are
they
way
come up
better
with.
than what we ever get.
So
Yeah.
like if the
So we're
TVA
like, what are they thinking?
doesn't actually end up being in the quantum realm and that's all just nonsense, I will be disappointed.
Yeah.
Because that theory is pretty freaking
But
cool.
then there's
Yeah.
other people out there that are going to go, oh, if it's in the quantum realm, then they're just copping out.
Well,
it makes
time
it too
time
easy.
travel
Yeah.
is almost always a cop out.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So-
the Falcon and Winter Soldier was
Oh.
abysmal writing.
It was
That was great.
And,
It was-
and it's kind of, I wonder like how we would feel if like this was the first one to come out and then like we'd watch like WandaVision and then Falcon Winter, like after the disaster that was Falcon Winter Soldier, watching this is almost like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
It's actually like entertaining.
maybe we're going too easy on it. No, the only salt I have for this is I kind of feel like Loki should be more powerful than he is. Like he's fighting these human beings that are being possessed by the other version, and he's getting his ass kicked, and it kind of irritates me a little
Well,
bit.
I don't think
Is he getting his ass kicked though?
Kinda.
like
Not
I
really.
don't think it's so much that he's getting his ass kicked and that like he's kind of like not fighting back really.
Oh, you think he's just playing around?
Well, because he knows that like these
Those are-
people aren't actually like
they're
attacking
people.
him.
Okay.
Like his variant is possessing them.
So since when does Loki care about other people, though?
Well, this is a lesser Loki.
That's a good point.
How dare you? I feel like at this point, like, is he allowed to use his magic when he's out of the
when
TVA?
when he's not in the TVA.
Well,
So
well,
he-
well,
'cause he
obviously he
changed his
does.
clothes.
He
Yeah.
does.
so he
you know.
should be able to like pop out some knives and start kicking some ass.
He
I just
he
kind of got the impression he was enjoying a tussle with another Loki and trying to like
Yeah.
get to know him a little bit, like
I
get
guess.
to know what makes him tick.
I guess.
I
I don't
also
know.
I did like that part where Owen Wilson gives him his knives back and B-15 just automatically just like, she's
Yeah.
like nope.
No.
All right. Final thoughts, Vader, on episode 2. You
I'm slowly getting into this. I enjoyed this. I'm enjoying what we got so far.
okay?
Like I said, I'm not gonna give it a grade or anything, but I do. I'm enjoying this show.
Okay.
It's making me want to keep watching.
Right on.
That's all it's supposed to do. So,
Jude, how about you?
Yeah, I think we should definitely wait until the finale to give it a grade. We'll give it an overall grade, but so far,
So
I love
far?
Loki.
Nice.
we're not having. It's not enough salt, guys. We're gonna.
I know we're not.
We're gonna get yelled at.
We're not living up to our name.
How
Hey,
dare
if you want to see some more salt, just go visit our
Falcon and Winter
Falcon and
Soldier.
Winter Soldier episodes.
God,
There's salt in every one.
Jude was swearing up a storm. It was scary.
Quit being shills.
Yeah. Gobbling Disney.
Gobble.
Kadish, what's your final thoughts?
All right. So this episode ends on a big cliffhanger. So like the variant Loki blows up the timeline, creates all these offshoots of the main timeline, and then Loki follows her into like a time portal just as Mobius is getting there and telling him like, Loki, wait. So I'm sitting here for like a week, like I can't wait to find out what happens.
Mhm.
And these 2 episodes, I feel like, yeah, they may not be the most action-packed episodes, but the character building, the character relationships, the mythology that they're laying out, like all the time travel rules that they're dropping down and stuff like that, like I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be like a few issues with some of the writing and plotting and stuff like that, but overall, it's entertaining me and
Yeah.
it's engaging me, and that's something that the other 2 Marvel series have failed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So-
like entertainment has forgotten to be entertaining for a while
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's amazing how
and
much.
now all of a sudden, like, we're like, oh my, yeah, I am fucking gobbling it up because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much like an entertaining show that you genuinely like watching, and you're willing to forgive some flaws that it might have
I just,
because
like,
you're having fun.
I wasn't entertained in Falcon and the Winter
No,
Soldier.
that was being preached to, and it was
Yeah.
boring,
I
and it
felt
was
like-
just like
Yeah.
it made me like I love Winter Soldier. He's a badass.
Yeah.
Bucky is awesome,
Yeah.
and that show made me not like him,
Yeah.
and that was very sad.
I don't feel that way about Loki and Tom Hiddleston.
No, yeah.
The
so,
character
so
yet,
far,
so-
based off of these 2 episodes, I would give this show a very high rating. Again, we're going to have to wait to see how all 6
Yeah.
episodes kind
Yeah.
of pan
Yeah.
out. But they've done more in these 2 hours than Falcon Soldier did in all 6
Mhm.
hours of
I
the
concur.
series.
Yep. I
So
agree.
I'm super into this, and I would definitely recommend people check it out.
Okay. All right, guys, that's it. That's our spoiler discussion for episode 2 of Loki. Tune in next week, and we'll talk about episode 3 and see if they stick the landing. We're hoping. We're optimists, more or less, but we've been burned before.
How many episodes are we getting in this?
6.
6.
Okay.
6 episodes.
So they got 4 more to go.
All right.
All right, guys, thanks for joining
And,
us.
the,
Oh, go ahead.
and these are long episodes.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 50,
Oh,
50,
50
45,
minutes?
50-minute episodes.
Nice.
We're getting
Well,
like,
we're getting about 10 minutes of credit at the end.
That's a
but
classic
you know,
Marvel.
I don't feel like we're getting the whole half hour, 20, 25 minutes thing going on. here.
Have any of you guys stayed put for the credits to see if there's anything
Yeah.
happening? You have?
So far, no.
Yeah,
Nothing,
like kind of same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier, where the first couple episodes there were no in credit scenes. Then as like the plot start going on,
Yeah.
they start throwing in those like little Easter
Yeah, you
eggs.
can't not watch these credits. You have to, just to make sure that there's nothing there.
Yeah.
They're screwing with us.
Yeah, and it pisses me off because it wastes my time.
I know,
Damn it.
Well, what's happening? I noticed that when I go to a normal movie, like when we went and watched A Quiet Place 2,
Yeah, I stayed.
everybody in the theater, all 20 of us, we all stayed.
Dude, Marvel had us.
So
screwed
what are we
up.
doing?
so
Is there some-
programmed.
Am I
Marvel-
going to miss something?
Marvel
What's
is
happening
living
right now?
rent free in our head.
Yeah, it's like, I went through like 10 minutes of this nonsense for nothing.
Kevin Feige's over there with a hood.
Could have been halfway home by now. Yeah.
I could have beat the rush. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for joining us. Matt Vader, where can they find you on the socials?
You can find me at Matt Vader 74, no spaces. One
One word.
Yeah, one word. With on the things,
Are you okay?
Tito's, Instagram, Twitter,
He's
and
so
YouTube.
excited.
I know. Okay. Jude, where can they find you at?
You can find me at I am Juju on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Say it slower.
You can find me
There you go.
at I am Juju on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Perfect. Matthew Kadish.
You can find me.
No, it doesn't work with you.
Oh, okay.
I had to blow my
It's
arm.
working on me.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter, and kadishbooks.com takes you to my Amazon page.
And I am Alex, the unsalty nerd this week. You can find me at salty_nerd. And as always, stay salty, my friends.